back.
It's been a long time.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been months. It's definitely
I think
months.
it's been about 3 months.
Yeah. So we're back though.
We are back.
Better than ever.
Better than ever, for sure. Some interesting things that happened in our absence. Andrew's child turned 1 year old.
Yes.
1 year.
1 year old. He's a big boy now. He's huge. He's like 25.5 pounds. Big guy.
I don't know. I mean, I have no clue what the baby scale is.
I mean, he's like 85th percentile.
Okay, that's
pretty big.
That's a pretty big boy.
His head is 95th percentile. I'm kind of worried that Donnie might be the father.
Our friend Donnie has a ridiculous head-to-body ratio.
Long-term listeners will know Donnie. He's been on a couple times. He's actually our only recurring guest.
Speaking of which, Donnie told me a funny story a couple nights ago. His mom, because Donnie is gone, if his mom might actually see this, so I'm sure you're a nice lady. But for whatever reason, Donnie has gone no contact with his parents.
I knew that, yeah.
For the past 6 months or so, maybe more. And Donnie's mom is like jonesing for Donnie information.
Yeah.
So she has found every podcast or anything that he's done and posted, she's found online. So she's seen our videos.
Hell yeah.
She probably watched the whole Donnie podcast.
Mrs. Marsh.
And she's apparently pissed at Donnie. She's apparently so mad at Donnie for spreading the family business.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, that story Donnie told was so funny.
Which one? All of his stories are so funny to me.
It was the one about him being born was just hilarious. Yeah. Oh, man. Another interesting thing that happened is a little over a week ago, 11 days ago, my apartment was hit by a tree and destroyed.
If you ask Matt's grandma, it was the Lord smiting him.
The Lord. My grandma didn't say that, but she did kind of imply it.
I think it was the Lord that, because Matt wasn't home when it happens. I think it was the Lord.
She's like, if you start going to church and praying, things might start going better for you.
Well, I mean, I don't know, dude. How could it go better for you? You were not home.
Yeah.
None of your stuff got ruined.
Not only was some of my stuff got ruined, but not much. Not only was I not home, I left maybe 15 minutes before
you had
it
a
happened.
premonition.
I was going to Courtney's play.
Yeah.
I was going to, thank God for Courtney's play. I was going to Courtney's play, and I stopped to eat at Champy's. I ran into a buddy of mine from back in the day when I worked at Sticky Fingers at Champy's. We're sitting at the bar. I'm eating a chicken sandwich. Kentucky Derby's is about to come on. And I get a call, and I ignore it.
Yeah.
And then they call me right back, so I answer, and they're like, is this Mr. Harris? Mr. Matthew Harris? And I was like, who is this? And then they were like, this is Officer so-and-so from Red Bank Police. And I was like, And then he was like, don't worry, you're not in trouble. And I was like, I've heard that before, officer. But anyway, and he's like, a tree fucking hit your apartment, and you need to come home. So all that happened, and I made it home in less than an hour.
Yeah.
So the tree hit my building. Somebody notified the authorities. The authorities came, busted open my door to make sure I wasn't in there dead with a tree through my head. Busted open my door, got out, contacted the landlord somehow. Yeah. Landlord gave them my number. They called me, and I drive back home in less than an hour.
Yeah, I mean...
so, for real, it had to have been 10, 15 minutes.
You're lucky that ICE didn't come get you.
Yeah,
what
for
if it
real.
was? Did they have a warrant? You should have said...
If I was an illegal, I would think that was a trick.
Yeah, right?
I shouldn't say an illegal. If I was an illegal immigrant, whatever you want to fucking call them. I'm not trying to talk about politics, but if I did not have a U.S. citizenship, I would have thought it was a trap.
They're not illegals, Matt. They're persons experiencing
illegalness. Yeah, persons experiencing undocumentation.
Yeah,
dude. And then yesterday they came to install my internet, even though they told me it was going to be today.
Yeah,
I'm at work. I've got 15 minutes left at work, so it's towards the end of the day. And I get a call that I don't recognize. They call me back, and I just answer it and don't say anything. And then they're like, is this Matthew Harris? Click. Hang up. Immediately I hang up. And then I call them back because if it's like a scammer, like, it'll be like, this call cannot be good. I call him back and he's like, yeah, I'm just, I work at the, internet company and I'm waiting outside your apartment. So I left work.
That was yesterday.
Like 10 minutes early, and they installed my my fucking internet.
Yeah, Matt's been having to goon to the written word.
What's it called? Literotica.
Yeah, literotica.
Just
yeah.
The lots of words like moist and throbbing.
Pine.
Pine. Yeah.
I put my wiener in a pine.
His dick was the size of a pine. In a pine. I put my wiener in a pine.
A pine tree.
Like a knotted pine tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that'd be awful.
Yeah.
Lots of sap.
Sap. Yeah.
Ugh, dude. Can you imagine getting sap on your dick?
Imagine. I gotta imagine.
Ugh, it weirds me out.
There's this. This reminds me of this old Reddit thread of this guy who was like, hypothetically, if I had a small cylinder stuck in a mini M&M's container with mashed potatoes and warm banana, how would I get my smaller cylinder out of the larger cylinder?
Is with mashed potatoes?
Or it was with banana and something else.
Dude, just, I don't know, run under some water. Get some of that mass out of there.
Someone's like, you should drill a hole in the end of it. He's like, I can't risk harming the inner cylinder. Let me see if I can find this.
That's funny. I saw a video recently of this woman who was like an ER nurse talking about this guy coming in, and he was like hunched over, and he he had like a blanket over him, like the front of him, and he like comes in like squatting, and he's like, somebody help me please. And like as they go to get him, the blanket that he's holding drops.
Yeah.
And he had been fucking a small breed dog that died. He fucked a dog to death.
Listen to this. How would you get a small cylinder 5.1 inches in length, 4.5 inches in girth, unstuck from a mini M&M's tube?
A mini M&M's tube?
With butter and microwave banana.
A mini M&M's tube? Are you kidding me?
Bro, did you get your dick stuck in the M&M's tube?
It's a cylinder.
That's
got to be a joke.
Yeah, but it is one of the funniest.
A mini M&M's tube?
Let's see.
There's got to be something in between mini M&M's tube and Pringles can.
That's no small cylinder. That is a perfectly adequate cylinder. Stupid sexy green M&M. You need to get air in there to release the pressure. I would advise using a high-powered drill to drill a hole in the bottom of the M&M's container. This will allow air to enter. The larger the drill, the better. Can't risk power tools damaging the inner cylinder.
That's really good.
Let's see.
There was the one I wanted to talk about too. Hold on.
I'm an engineer. Your best bet here is to use pressure. Imagine the piston is an engine. That's not your dick. Whatever. When pressure builds up, i.e., combustion inside a cylinder, it pushes the piston out. Don't try to argue with this. Pistons never get stuck in the dead center position. You need to poke a hole at the end of your M&M's tube and inject some.
Okay, now this is just like a do-it-yourself.
This guy said nail polish remover's high vapor pressure might cause discomfort by drawing the external layer of the cylinder.
The skin layer. Oh, man, that's rough. Oh, man. That hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts to think about.
Many M&M's, dude.
Yeah, dude. But that same ER nurse about the guy with the dog was like talking about how people always come in and you can tell that they've got something stuck in their butt.
Yeah.
And they're like kind of like waddle in and they're like, what's wrong with you today? And he's like, I'd rather just tell the doctor. And it's like automatic. That's
you got something in your butthole.
Stuck in your butt. Something that's not designed to go in your butt is in your butt.
That's funny.
And it's like, dude, they make plenty of stuff designed to go in your butt. Why would you do something not designed to go in there? They make things of all sizes and shapes. That
if you heard about the person that had
a flared bottom.
Yeah, have you heard about the person that had the butt plug was pure silicone, and they had a butt plug in, and they went to go get
it had a
CAT scan.
Oh no!
And it had like a metal interior,
a metal core,
and it ripped into their body and like went up into their fucking organs.
Good God, dude!
Yeah, it's like the McDonald's.
Did he
hot
die?
Coffee. I don't think so.
I mean, he's at the hospital.
Yeah,
but still, good God, dude, if something's gonna happen like that. Look at that. I don't know if you'd be around industrial magnets.
Yeah, I just wouldn't bring my butt plug to the hospital or anywhere like.
Yeah, that's because you're so vanilla, Andrew.
Yeah. Do you bring your butt plug?
Live a little. Live a little, Andrew. I take mine everywhere.
Yeah. Tell him about he was moving his stuff and he has people come over. And,
some of our friends come over, not Andrew.
I was watching my son.
He was having to take care of his baby boy. But some of our friends come over, and our friend Elijah, who's like a very funny comic, but is like autistic. He said he has what used to be called Asperger's.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a term they use anymore. I think like recently, within the past couple of years, they like changed the descriptions. Now it's just all different flavors of autism.
It's a spectrum.
But Elijah is helping me move, and like I'm just moving to a different apartment in the same building. So it's like not like, just like an assembly line of just one person out, up, down the stairs, across, up the stairs, put it in. And, we're all working, and I'm very thankful for my friends to help me do this. And I have a TV, and Elijah comes out of the house with like my little bedroom TV that's like just like I don't know.
24-inch TV.
Yeah, and he's carrying it by the tips. He's got each edge like this. Carrying it. And I'm like, Elijah, be careful with that TV. He's like, oh, do you think something's going to happen? I might just do a slip and fall and sue you. And right as he says slip and fall and sue you, the TV hits the ground and just comes apart into like 5 different pieces. It took me like an hour to put it back together, but it does work now.
So somehow I think both of your TV, that's the one that works.
That's the one that works now. My other TV, I thought worked, but I guess it got water damage or something.
I was implying about about what Reed said about all your sex toys.
Not all my sex toys. Yeah, Reed was like, our other friend Reed, who's a very funny comedian as well, was like, did you hide all your embarrassing stuff? And I was like, oh, yeah. And then I like we were done. I was like, hey, Reed, for helping me, you can like have this. And I like threw it at him, and he like caught it. And he like picks it up, and he's like, what is this? And it's like had a little button on it, and it's like this big. It's like the size of your pinky. And he like opens it, and there's little batteries in it. And he's like, is this just like a little battery holder? A place to keep your little batteries? And it was like a magic bullet.
It's a Mexican jumping
bean. It was a magic bullet. And he was like, oh no, this has been in your butt. And I was like, not my butt, son. It's been in a butt.
Speaking of butts, we've been kicking butt at trivia the last few weeks.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've been kicking enough butt. We've got a little trivia team together. Me and Andrew and some of my friends from outside of work that Andrew's starting to get to know. And we've played like 4 weeks in a row. Not always with me and Andrew, but the team has played 4 weeks in a row. I think we were there for 3 of them. And we've gotten second place every time.
Yep.
Out of like a dozen teams, we get second place every time.
And
we could have won last night.
We just should have put our nuts on the table, bet it all. True daily double.
True daily double. Yeah, we should have. I just guessed. I guessed the order, and they were like, I think that's right. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was right, too. It was like, put these celebrities in order by youngest to oldest. It was like George R.R. Martin,
Pierce Brosnan, Neil Diamond, and Robert Duvall. And the answer was from youngest to oldest was Pierce Brosnan, George R. R. Martin, Neil Diamond, and Robert Duvall was the oldest.
Yeah.
And we got it right, but we bet 0 fucking points, a goose egg.
Goose egg.
And we got in second. We were in the lead going into. That's why we didn't bet any points, because we were in the lead.
Yeah.
But somebody else got it right and bet it all.
We've also been playing Oblivion.
Yeah, Oblivion came out. Damn, dude, I love that game.
It's fun.
I love Skyrim. I was actually playing Skyrim before we figured out Oblivion was coming out, the remastered, and I never played Oblivion.
Yeah.
So it's like I have a newer, better, prettier Skyrim.
Yeah.
That I've never played. So the quest, Skyrim, it was like the third or fourth time I played it. So I knew most of the quests and stuff. But man, it's been so fun. I have a Khajiit character. Oh, this is funny.
Yeah, I was going to say.
This is funny.
So I let Matt borrow my Xbox to play Oblivion.
Right. And so I decide, because it's on Xbox Game Pass. And what kind of Xbox is it?
Series S or whatever
the
one
newest
without a disc drive.
Xbox without a disc drive. So I decided I want to sign up for Game Pass, which is $20 a month. And it basically has a ton of games on there that you can download and play because you're like a member. It's like a subscription service. I decided to do that. That way I have better games instead of playing the other games besides paying the $50 just to have Oblivion. Andrew, I think Andrew hadn't played. Andrew bought this Xbox strictly to play Starfield. Beat Starfield and then never touched the Xbox again.
Correct.
So I turn it on. I'm like, oh, I'm going to play Oblivion. And I turn it on. I'm like, okay, time to get it set up. And as soon as I turn it on, the icon comes up that's like, do you want to play Oblivion?
Yeah.
And I click it, and I call Andrew, and I'm like, hey, man, I don't know what to tell you.
No, you said, I got some bad news, man. And I'm like, you were kind of chipper about it. And I'm like, what the fuck are you going to say? It's like, did you steal my wife from me?
What bad news could I give you that I'm happy about?
Yeah, right.
And I was like, well, it seems like maybe you've been playing for Xbox Game Pass for a long time.
So, dude, I got Starfield. I got this Xbox like 2 years ago, whenever Starfield came out.
And I was like, maybe you pay it by the year, and you just hadn't noticed, the $100 coming out. And he's like, I don't know, man, that is crazy. So I start Oblivion, and I get to the creator character, and I'm just like, man. I always like to play Khajiit, which is like cat people.
It's because Matt's a furry.
Yeah, it's because I'm a furry. I like Khajiit. They're cool. They have the good perks.
A person experiencing furriness.
A person experiencing furriness. And I picked the Khajiit, and I'm still on the phone with him as I'm setting up my character. And I'm like, dude, I thought this was supposed to be remastered. And he's like, it is remastered. And I was like, I saw these Khajiit just look terrible. You would think that they had redesigned them and made them look better.
You can only be red.
They just look bad. Like, you can barely change what color you are, and like the facial options. I spent like 20 minutes going through this, trying to do what I want my Khajiit to look like. And finally I start the game, and you start the game, you're like in a dungeon cell.
Yeah.
And I get in the dungeon cell, and I'm like, kind of my character was like walking around. I'm like, man, a lot of this sure is like flat. Like all the walls are like very untextured. And then by the time when the way it starts is like someone walks to the front of your cell, and at that point I knew that I had spent
30 minutes.
30 minutes on the original Oblivion that Andrew had bought off the market for like $5 or something. And then I spend all that time. The Khajiits do look much better.
Yeah.
They're cool. I like it. I don't know. It's cool. You sneak around. One thing that I did like about Skyrim better is that when you were a Khajiit, instead of like punching, you would go. But in Skyrim, the Khajiit just punch like a normal. Or in Oblivion, they just punch like a normal person. Dude, did you see that video I sent you about that flying motorcycle?
Yes.
Did that not look fucking insane?
This is basically the hover motorbike from
Star Wars.
from Return of the Jedi when they're going through Endor and like all. I mean, dude, like you would die riding that thing. You can't ride that in the woods.
Yeah, it's called the Volanite Air Bike. If you guys want to look it up, maybe we'll put a picture right here.
Yeah.
But it's insane. It's insane. And it's like the guy was like, it can reach speeds up to 124 miles an hour. And the dude was just kind of.
It's like going like 5.
Yeah, like just because if it really can go 120.
Dude, I would be terrified.
It's probably, yeah, exactly. He's scared to death. He's 40 feet in the air.
Yeah.
But no, these things they can fly.
It's basically like, what if we made a motorcycle more dangerous? Like, this guy was wearing a helmet. All he's wearing is a helmet. It's like, dude, you're dead if you fall off
the helmet.
thing.
The helmet has like electronics in it.
Yeah.
That like it's part of driving the bike.
Yeah, it's like going to be Neuralinked into his body.
It's fucking crazy though, dude. We are in the future.
We are. We're in the future, but like it's dumb.
Yeah, it's a little dystopian.
It's like the dumb future. Like, dude, AI is dumb. It's like, it's like all these high school students are using AI. They're not learning anything from them. Like, well, it's wrong though. Like, they're just constantly wrong. Like,
Did you?
I think you should be able to use AI during trivia because like you'll just be wrong most of the time.
Have you seen that where the trend where people just put a picture in and they're like, "Give me this exact same picture," and it like slowly changes.
Yeah.
Like each time it's a little different until it becomes something totally different. It's pretty creepy. There was one where like there was just this like girl, a pretty girl in like her kitchen and she's smiling, and then it's just like. Each one, she becomes a little more evil.
Yeah. Till
at the end, she's like looks like the Babadook.
She looks like the fucking gremlins from Oblivion.
Yeah, kind of. They kind of did. Yeah, that was crazy. But speaking of like being in the dumb timeline, did you see where Trump took his whole cabinet to the UFC fight?
No, that's
it was
so
the
funny.
whole cabinet to the UFC fight, and like they get them all on camera, and they're like, "Hey," and it's like RFK first, and like he's like a politician. He's like, "Hello, everyone," and his wife, the woman from Curb was on there, and they're smiling and perfectly normal.
Yeah,
and then it like gets to like. Gabby, what's her name? Gabby, what's her name? I want to say Gabby Watts, but it's not.
I don't know. Pam Bondi?
No, she's that person. She like
she
has the white streak in her hair.
I know what you're talking about.
I can't forget her name. I can't remember her name. But anyway, she like does like the Hawaiian thing because she's from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then it like gets to the guy. I forget his name. Something Patel, the guy who's like.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And then it cuts to Marco Rubio, who was like, I've always thought was kind of like one of the lamest politicians.
Yeah.
But dude, he's like, what?
What if Marco Rubio?
Yeah, he's like throwing up gang signs. He's like bloods. And it's like, what's the one that they're MS-13?
Yeah. Little Marco,
MS-13. What's that other name of the gang? That's El Laquanda.
Agua.
El
Agua Fresca.
The Water Boys.
Yeah.
But that's just like that's so fucking stupid.
Being
in
Trump's cabinet would be like being on a bachelor party that never ends, and you just got to do whatever the groom wants to do, and you're like, "Fuck me, man! Like again, we're going to McDonald's again. Like we're going to the UFC fight. Okay, cool, I guess. It's like, dude, I just want to go home and be with my family."
I know this is like divulging into just stuff we saw on the internet recently, but dude, I saw this one thing. There's a woman who had like an amputated leg.
Okay.
And she had a prosthetic leg that was thick.
Yeah.
It was like her prosthetic leg was like this big around.
Yeah.
And she like stood up and like, she was like a thick, voluptuous woman, but it was just like you look at the prosthetic leg and it's for real, like this big around.
Yeah, man.
And you're like, man, that's crazy to me.
If you're gonna get a prosthetic leg, get a.
Might as well get some booty to go along
Iron
with
Man,
it.
Yeah,
might as well get some booty to go along with it.
They could like make that guy Oscar Pistorius, whatever, the guy that had no legs that was a good runner that killed his wife.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
him? They could have like made him Iron Man.
And he had like the
ting 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 ting
yeah,
ting.
dude.
Remember that Cat Williams joke?
Yeah, little ting
ting ting ting ting ting.
Oh, little ting ting.
Poor little ting ting.
Ting ting.
Ting 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 ting.
That was a very funny Cat Williams joke. Cat Williams is so fucking funny. Another thing though I wanted to mention on here. That guy that I've been sending you the reels of, the crazy guy on Instagram.
So there's so many. All Matt does is send me videos of people that are clinically insane. You're talking about the guy that was like Fox FOX 666. Dude, I've commented on one of his videos today. It's so funny, man.
What'd you say? No, he's like the cult
He looks like Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad.
Dude, I went to his website, which was like release from the Matrix dot legend or something.
Yeah, .life.
And I went to it, dude. It looked like it was made in 1998. It was a terrible website. And he's basically like, click on the meme and learn. And so I click on one of this picture of like the Illuminati, and I click on it, and it just takes me to all his Instagram reels are on the website that you can watch individually.
So,
but dude, this
guy has like 600 followers, and like a lot of them are our friends. Like I see, you must be sending this to other people we know, because I'll see like Patrick liked this, Donnie liked this, Matt liked. It's like how does everyone I know already know this guy? And he's always the one that Matt sent me that was so funny was like, just so you know, parents, your kids are never going to make it in Hollywood unless they're willing to sell their soul to Satan and serve the Illuminati. I sent that to Donnie. He said, do you think he's available for the industry panel on our festival coming up?
Oh, speaking of which, I need to give. They had a like an events, like a, what's it called? Like a vendor booths at work today, and there was a lady who like does this children's charity fundraisers.
Yeah.
And she was like this, and then we do these fundraisers, and she had mentioned wanting to do stand-up, like trying to get a comedy show.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, really? And I went up to talk to her afterwards, and she gave me her card. I'm going to pass it on to Courtney.
Yeah. We have like, you have like probably, you could probably find 4 or 5 comics that work at Unum.
Yeah. I mean, not really. There's like 3.
I bet there's more that we forget about. Chris Hill, you, Dalby.
That's it, I think.
Joe Feeney's not working there?
He never worked there. He worked at one of the businesses that was
yeah.
like had the leased out office space.
I just assume anyone that I don't know what they do works at Unum.
Yeah, dude, that's a good bet. But anyway, back to the guy. He's like, the cult courts took my kids. They took my kids for no reason. And it's like, and then he's like, after they took my kids for no reason, he's like, the judge had a robe. ROBE stands for 666. I don't know. He'll be like Fox, FOX, spell 666.
What's 6 times 6 times 6? It's 186. Add those numbers together, it makes 9.
That's the weight of the beast.
Yeah.
186 pounds, the weight of my ex-wife who took my kids.
Yeah. It's like he's like the, what's the guy from The Stand? M-O-O-E.
Tom Cullen. M-O-O-N. That spells a cult courts. That spells a cult. M-O-O-N. I don't know what kind of like decipher, like code, like what sort of imitation game that he's doing, where it's like no matter what the letter or symbol, they always equal 666.
I think you're part of the occult for not buying.
He had a Fox racing hat on. Andrew sent me this one back because I guess he like dove deeper.
Oh yeah.
He had an occult racing. He had a Fox racing hat on, and it had the monster symbol. And you know that woman, for that video of the woman, and she's like, the T is an upside down cross or a cross, and what do? You tilt it up to drink it, and the cross is upside down, and the devil laughs.
Well, he's like the M in monster is the Hebrew.
No, that actually is true, okay, though.
Yeah,
the Hebrew, like the little ch is a 6 in Hebrew. But then he's like, and then Fox, F-O-X, 666. So it says 666, 666, which is when you add those together, you get occult courts who are trying to take my kids. And it's just like, they took my kids for no reason. And then he just starts spouting the craziest stuff. I kind of feel bad a little bit because it's like, dude, like clearly it's like in America, you can be crazy. And unless you are a danger to yourself or others, no one can force you to get help.
Sure.
And it's just like similar to what's going on with Kanye, dude, where it's like Kanye needs to be put into a hospital and medicated, and he could probably come out in a year. If he did that, he could probably come out being way more normal than he is now. that song, that Heil Hitler song. Have you heard? Dude, he definitely, if he got on his meds and went to therapy and got just was in under the like he was being treated by a psychiatrist for a whole year, he would be a lot better.
If that happens, you know what I'm going to say? Body double. They
Body-
switched him. They
body
switched
double.
him.
It's that song, that Heil Hitler song
Yeah.
that like everyone, and it's like I haven't actually listened to the song, but I've watched some YouTubers talk about it, and it's like basically apparently the lyrics to the song is basically like, oh, you want me, you all make me out to be the bad guy. Well, I'm gonna be the bad guy. Inward Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I just did the Roman salute. But then it's like everybody, the people supporting the song are like real white supremacists.
See, I saw this tweet that was like, Hitler in 80 years or 70 years, people in America will be making songs about you. It's like, oh, that's great. Who will it be? It's like, it'll be a mentally defective black man.
Man. And it's just so crazy because 10 years ago, Kanye West was considered like the end-all, be-all of music.
Yeah.
He was a musical genius. Dude, some of the College Dropout was an amazing album.
Yeah.
I'm not that big of a hip-hop head, but I did like Kanye back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I like some hip-hop.
Our friend
but-
Ethan probably still likes Kanye.
Dude, I messaged Ethan on Instagram, and I was like, so, just checking in, what you're thinking about your boy Kanye. Are you still a fan? And he just says, always will be. I'll call you later.
That's like that is a MAGA level of devotion.
Let me actually see exactly what he said. Yeah, he does have like a MAGA level. There it is. I misquoted him. I asked what he was feeling about Kanye, and he said, it's impossible to type, but I'll call and tell you. So I was wrong.
He didn't say bad.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't say it was bad. Yeah, and Ethan is our friend. We may have talked about this before. He lives in New York City, and he has lost dozens of pairs of shoes at this point from getting so drunk that he falls asleep. He passes out on the streets of New York City, and people steal his shoes. And then he wakes up and has to walk home without shoes in through New York City.
And he doesn't have a wallet to buy more booze, so he's got to be hungover while he does all that.
Yeah, I couldn't drink. Ethan used to, his opening joke was like, I'm an alcoholic. Always have been, always will be.
I've drank every day since I turned 18.
Yeah. Yeah, he said that. And then he's like, a lot of times when you say you're an alcoholic, people assume that you've stopped drinking. Not me. Never going to happen. And it's just like, we've just been counting down the days until it's like, I mean, I don't know. His body's got to be crying. I mean, not that I take great care of my body, but it's just like drinking as much as he does constantly for 10 years.
But he's a thin guy. I think that alcohol, you can either be an alcoholic or fat, but you can't be both. Like, your body just can't take it.
Same way with drug addicts.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't do drugs and be as heavy as I am.
Right. That's why I had to quit drinking, because it's like I was too fat to drink every day.
You've lost a lot of weight since then.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how much. I imagine like 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Over the course
of about 30
a
pounds.
few years.
Yeah, I lost most of it last August because I was too scared to eat.
Yeah, dude, that was freaking crazy.
I need to get scared again, man.
You don't want to be scared. It was weird when you had that thing going on, because it was like, there was there was nothing that could be done.
Right. I thought I was dying. We probably podding back then. We probably don't know.
I think stuff. We were potting, but we took a break for that month. I think maybe.
Yeah.
Because you were just like,
I thought I was dead.
Yeah, you just were like, oh, like you had this like very, very uncontrollable, like existential dread.
Yeah.
That just like consumed you.
Yeah. I think it's because I wasn't getting enough sleep. That's part of it, man.
Yeah, that was right after Thomas was born, right?
Yeah. Yeah, having a baby will fuck you up, man.
Postpartum depression or
That's
whatever.
That's kind of what I was going through, but oh, dude, I have something I want to talk about. So, me and Matt, we share a lot of. This is mostly just a conversation about stuff we've seen online lately, which maybe that's what this show's devolving into. We also need to talk about some book stuff. We got a lot of book stuff to cover. But my old history teacher from high school, she posted about her son buying a house. And she's like, well, now you're entering the big boy world. You can't call your landlord anytime something breaks. And it's like, dude, people that say that all the time about like how like, oh, owning a house is such a ripoff because you got to pay for everything. It's like, dude, you're just like, you've drank the Kool-Aid. Like if owning a house and being a landlord is so hard, why are all these fucking companies doing it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we've probably put in like $1,000 into our house since we bought it, maybe $2,000. Like, but we've
I mean, eventually it'll cost. Like there'll be big things that you have to do eventually.
Yeah, like
but it's like you've saved so much money,
and like our house is like
equity
gone up like 40% in value.
I know, dude. And you bought your house at the perfect time because you're like locked into like the low end,
3.5%
right before
the shit.
The interest rates popped off.
It's like 5 years ago is when we bought our house, and dude, it's like, dude, no, buying a house is like that's like saying it's like you know, getting like unlimited blowjobs is like, well, you know, your balls are going to be pretty sore. It's like, yeah, a small price to pay.
I
it's
mean,
like,
unlimited blowjobs, like it's like, yeah, that means you want you get to have a blowjob whenever you want,
right?
It. Not that like you're just
maybe it's not a good analogy.
You're gonna be sucked dry.
No, it's like
you're gonna be until you look like you've been pruned in the sun,
like that old lady from SpongeBob with the chocolate.
That, yeah. But yeah, people who say that, it's just like people, for better or worse, people like to make themselves feel special in some way, and everything is like you know, I remember like when I would be going through stuff in high school or something, and I'd be like, oh, you know, I had to go to school all day, I had to go to football practice, I had to do this, and I had to study, and blah 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 blah. And my dad, I'd be complaining about it. My dad would be like, well, wait till you get older and you have to go to work every day. And it's like, yeah, I've been going to work every day.
And you don't. I mean, it's like it's just a different kind of shitty. I mean, I thought high school. I mean, I would not want to go back to high school if I had the shit.
No,
you know what I
me
mean?
either.
Like, it's
Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
Right, like,
dude, it'd be funny if I went to your high school reunion and I pretended to be you.
It'd be funny if you just like said you went to our school.
I just dyed my hair blonde.
Yeah. I don't think we look anything alike.
I mean, we don't, but it would be funny. And I'm like, no, you know, Andrew Ledbetter.
Enough of my friends have seen our podcast and like met you that they would.
No, it's not the friends. It's not people that you've kept up with that I want to trick. Like the teachers, I want to go up to the teachers and be like, remember Andrew Ledbetter? Dude, it's been 15 years.
I could go to your high school and just say I went to that high school because like your high school was way bigger than mine. Dude, I like looked at the...
Which is crazy because I went to a very small high school.
I looked at the graduating class from my high school. They just graduated. 50 people. 50 people in that class.
My high school had like 112 in my graduating class, and it was the only high school for the entire county.
Yeah.
The entire county had one high school. Dade County High School.
Yeah, we had 75.
So at that vendor booths today at work, there was one that was like for like artificial insemination or like in vitro fertilization, and they were giving stress balls away that look like sperm.
Okay.
And I was like taking two of those, taking two little sperm balls.
Nice.
They like have a face on it, and it's like they're like a little swimmer.
Or did you donate to the cause?
No.
You didn't donate your seed?
No. Saving it up.
Yeah, you're doing the semen retention diet.
Yeah, I'm saving it up, trying to I gotta make a big investment.
Yeah. Collecting interest. Me and Matt got hired to do a little writing gig this week. We finished it up today.
Yeah, that was it's kind of cool. Like my other people that I've mentioned it to think it's a really neat opportunity. It is, but
we had to write roasts about fast food restaurants.
Yeah, it was like basically we were like working. We were like, what's the word? We were like contracted to do. We're like subcontracted to work on like an ag campaign pitch.
Yeah.
For Arby's, like the Arby's, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll get picked up.
Yeah, I think we did good.
I think we
wanna
did good.
There were like 8 other comics that did it. I want to see their work.
So basically we had to like write roast jokes about different fast food restaurants, and not that many. We had to write like 10.
Here's one that we didn't use.
This one's so funny, dude.
I didn't use it. I wanted to, but they said it was too dirty. Okay, what is the difference between my wife's labia and the Arby's beef and cheddar? I don't squirt horsey sauce on the Arby's beef and cheddar.
That's really, really funny.
So they're not going to use that
I told
one.
Dolby that at work today.
Yeah, what do you think?
He thought it was funny. He thought it was very funny.
There were some good ones, I thought. I want to post some of them. I asked Jeff if I could post them. He said, we got to wait a week.
Yeah, he said we own them.
We own them. Yeah, we own the jokes, so that's good. I'm going to send it to the Library of Congress. Yeah, man. What else we got?
What else?
Dude, talk about this thing you've been obsessed with about the Young Earth.
Okay, so like the past week, I've been really obsessed with like listening to these Young Earth creationists.
Yeah.
One guy in particular named Kent Hovind. He owns a theme park, a theme park that in southern Alabama that's called Dinosaur Adventureland, where he teaches you that before Noah's flood, animals and humans lived to be 900 to 1,000 years old, and reptiles never stopped growing. So all the dinosaur bones were just like 900-year-old lizards.
Yeah.
And I've been watching him debate. I've watched him debate like scientists, and I actually saw today he got, you know, that like really hateful Alabama preacher who's like, he's like a hate preacher, like he's always like screaming. He's gone viral a couple times.
Okay, I think I know what you mean.
They have a beef now. Kent Hovind, and he's like, the Bible doesn't have any contradictions. It doesn't have. Atheists like to say the Bible has contradictions, but it doesn't. And the thing that they are arguing over is how long the Jews were in Egypt, because there's like different places. Like one, it says that they like it could either be like 300 years or like 450 years that the Jews were in Egypt, and they're arguing about that. But they're both saying that it doesn't have any contradictions. They're on either side of it, but both of them are saying it has no contradictions, even though they're arguing about it.
This is the thing about like Christian nationalism. It's like we can't decide on which Christian we want to be nationalist.
Christian. Exactly, man.
If we were a Christian nationalist country, we would have like a million factions warring.
Yeah, can you imagine if it's like they're like, oh, Jehovah's Witnesses are we're making the law in accordance with a Jehovah Witness.
Dude, it would be like Fallout, where that like every little town has their own faction of like religious fundamentalists. But I want to go to this Dinosaur Adventureland.
I want to go to that, and I also want to go to that place in Cincinnati, or near Cincinnati.
Yeah, we got to go.
That has like a giant, that has the full scale to Noah's Ark. And like, so Kent Hovind, the guy that I've been obsessed with watching, he always talks about kinds. Like he's like, the Bible says that from it spring forth the same kind. And so he's like, there is no evolution. There's no such thing as evolution. Dude, honestly, we should try and get Kent Hovind to come on the podcast.
He probably
because he has been on YouTube channels with like 200 followers. Like,
hell yeah, dude.
We should try and get him to come on.
We should get him to debate.
Get him and Donnie to come on.
We should get them to debate. We should host a debate.
That would be
go
awesome.
to him.
We will go. We'll go to Dinosaur Adventureland.
Yeah, I'll take off work.
And like on Dinosaur Adventureland on Sundays, there's like if you come, you're required to go to a Sunday service.
Yeah.
Where he just talks all his same fucking points about kind. He's like, it's spring for and giant and like 1,000-year-old lizards.
You're already gonna know all the points.
Yeah, dude. He always says the same thing. You're like, oh, well, you can see that like the Irish wolfhound and like a coyote are not as closely related through their genetics as a coyote and like just different,
like a Labrador Retriever.
Just different canids.
Yeah.
Like it's like he's like the guy is using that to be like, oh, like clearly evolution has happened because like these things have certain parts of genetics right, and then they've developed like crazy. Like there's this one type of canid that's like more closely related to like a marsupial.
Yeah.
than a lot of other dogs, and it has like webbed feet, and it has like really high hind legs, and it looks like something out of an anime or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, look at these things, they're different. And he's like, nope, they're like not. He always says the same things. He said, like, you'll be like, clearly this proves evolution, and he'll be like, so you think that you're related to an apple? You think you're related to an apple? That's what you believe. And the guy's like, we're just talking about this right now. Can we not talk about how we're related to apples? And he's like, well, that you don't want to talk about it. Why don't you want to talk about it? And he's like, because I am trying to pin you down and make you like get a point across.
It's confab.
Yeah, but K-fab. And he's always like, he's like, oh, so Noah had on his ark two of every kind. And it's like, wait, so Noah's Ark happened 4,000 years ago, and you think it had 2 dogs, and they came off, and within 4,000 years, all the different canid, like, wolves, foxes, coyotes, dogs, those weird canids from Asia, all of them. You think all that happened in 4,000 years? Like, it's not possible that that the genetics developed that fast. And he's like, sure it is. Sure it is. Just because, like, I have 3 brothers. We're not exactly the same. And it's like, yes, you are. You are. You're made up of the same genetics.
Well, hey, Matt, what about this? He can't mate with his brothers.
Well, and then there's, like, certain kinds. That's his other things. Like, if they can mate, they're of the same kind. So, like, lion and tiger are of the same kind.
But donkey and donkey, not of the same kind.
Donkey and donkey.
Mule and mule.
Yeah, well, mule's probably an abomination in his worldview.
It's a chimera.
But
it really is.
Not a chimera. Oh, I guess that's what is right. Never mind. I was thinking of homunculus.
Homunculus.
But if he was like, if they are the same kind, that means that they can, mate. And it's like, well, Kent, there are like 7 different species of raccoons, and 3 of them can't mate with each other. Are they not the same kind?
It's because of the Tower of Babel.
God took like 2 of the Tower. Was the Tower of Babel before the flood?
It was before, yeah.
And like, dude, that's just such a dumb way to think that language came together. Is that like the hubris of man?
Dude, all this talk about how the Bible, Old Testament's not, consistent. Donnie's mom's going to unsubscribe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Miss Marsh.
Yeah.
We'd love to have your husband on.
Oh, dude, both of y'all. Let's do a debate.
Yeah, come on.
We'll do a series with Donnie.
We'll bring Kent Hovind in.
We should.
They probably agree with him. I mean, I'm not. You're welcome to your belief. And his whole thing. Another thing Kent Hovind says is like, this is not science. He'll be like, carbon dating is not science because we can't know. How do you know?
You can't.
How do you know? And it's like, well, because of like all these scientific reasons. He's like, no, that you're just making it up. You're just making it up. That's not science. That's your religion. You're welcome to have that religion, but I refuse to let you teach it in public schools.
Yeah.
And it's just like, good God.
Well, this has been a good one. We're back.
We're back, baby. We're going to try and do these once a week again.
Yep. Okay.
All right, guys. Peace.